A while since I posted any decks. Basically since Thanksgiving, maybe a week and a half. What I'm bringing you here today is the start of a new series that might look like old series, but Beef and I, Team Spicy Brews members, are going to try and provide you with some new forms of content. To start you off, though, I want to introduce you to the decks that you're going to be seeing in our upcoming videos. And I'm going to show you a couple of games from just my side. So we're going to try to build decks that aren't just one-game decks. So one set of our series in the upcoming Spicy Brews series is going to be a best of 5 to 7 games, a slugfest. Me and Beef will each play a deck. We'll play 2 games pre-sideboarded, and then we'll sideboard for the next 3 or 4 games. That means that if you see a deck, you have to build it not purposefully sideboarded for a specific deck. If you look at the list I have here, this is a Ruby Diamond Inspire list. The only cards here that I would consider pre-sideboarded might be the Stone Skins, and that's about it. You could pre-sideboard this deck. You could get this deck ready to go against, let's say, if you expect a lot of blood, a lot of removal spells. Maybe instead of just 4 Stone Skins to protect yourself from removal, you include, I don't know, something else. Something with haste, maybe. Maybe instead of playing, like the Protectorates here, or instead of playing the Ruby Enchantress, or instead of playing these Protectorates, either Protectorates or the Enchantress maybe, you could instead play creatures with speed. Creatures with speed will help you recover more quickly from like an extinction. The extinction, you're getting back in there for 3 or 4 damage or however much it is if you have a troop with speed. I'm not doing that. The sideboard for this deck would include things like Burn. It would include things like maybe Pacifism. Things that could clear out the way for our dudes in the event that we need that. Maybe it'll include another Legionnaire because he's pretty good. It might include another source, so that I can go up another source in case I want to up my curve by adding another Legionnaire. It might include a 4th Spear Cliff Cloud Knight. I haven't really put together the sideboard for this thing yet, but those are the ideas. Other things you could include, remember we're only 2 colors here, but against a mill deck, you might put in the Cosmic Totem. Let me show you that. Cosmic Totem. It has 0 place in a main deck, but in a sideboard, you could put 2 copies of this, 3 copies of this. Against a mill deck, 1 copy may just not be enough. Because if they mill it, you're never going to draw it. Excuse me. So, lots of options for sideboards. This is the main deck. And I'm going to play this main deck in a series of videos. This is very close to an old list I had already posted up, but there's some changes here. I lowered my curve. I'm only running 22 sources, excuse me. I kind of want to go up to a 23rd. In fact, I think I'm going to try to find a spot right now while we're talking about it. Let's go through our drops. In the 1-drop slot, we have 2 Mariners, Inspires for defense. I don't love it, but I want to have some early 1-drops. So my 1-drops include 4 Shards of Fate, because you can't play anything afterwards, 2 Mariners, and 4 Scriveners. That gives me 10 things to do on the first turn of the game. That makes me feel alright about what's going on. These are 1-drops, but they don't come out on turn 1, so we're not going to discuss those 1-drops. 10 1-drops is basically where I want to be with this deck. 2 drops include the 4 Protectorates. I'm not sold on these guys yet. They get shuffled back in. I really couldn't care less about that. I mean, it's okay, I guess. They're 2 mana 2/1s, which is good, but they hold a major socket. Now, the Prime Diamond is pretty good, but you kind of have to commit a lot to the board for that, and it scares me. I don't really want to gain life. First Strike, Swift Strike is not bad. Life Drain, similarly, not bad, because with Life Drain, it becomes really good with our other 2-drop, the Righteous Paladin. But we could go into Ruby. If we go into Ruby, we can give it speed. Not really super interested in that. Destruction's not really that interesting to me, and this one is not for our deck, and it's bugged. So you'll see in the games, I haven't played them yet, so I mean, you're going to see him fresh as we play him. But I'm very dubious of this guy. I'm not sure he's as good as people are making him out to be. I also know that his socket is bugged, and we can get this effect without having double diamond threshold, but you won't see me do that. I mean, it'll come up very rarely, I suppose. You might see me because it's like, oh, I don't have double diamond, but I need to swing anyway, or else I'm going to lose the game. But I'm not going to purposefully take advantage of that. Okay, so 2 drops. We have 4 of the Protectorates. Don't love them. The Rubies I do like. They combo off with our Falconer. They combo off with our Plan C. And they're good with just about everything because it's a 2-drop. Then, oops, 1 Shield Trainer. I don't really care about Steadfast. And in multiples, they don't do anything. You can't give a guy double Steadfast. Whereas you can give a guy 2+1+0 Inspires. Other 2-drops. The 4 Righteous Paladins. They get inspired. They're 2/2/2s, 2 mana 2/2s, and you can boost them up with the Scrivener or the Cloud, the Spear Cliff Cloud Knight. I'm thinking of switching over Palamedes to be Dimid, but I don't want to be locked into having to have double diamond. So right now, I'm not using that combo. So I'm using Palamedes. But I'm very, very, very close to switching it over to, if I could show you, Lionel Flynn. It gives plus, I wish I could show you better. Can I do it? No. Alright, well, it gives +3/+0 permanently, but it's a 5. It's a 5er, so with 4 Shards of Fate, getting to 5 is more like getting to 6 or 7. It's not bad. It might just be better. It might be better. I'm not 100% on this yet. It helps punch through. Yeah, let's try it. We'll give it a shot. Okay, any case, moving on. The Plan C is the last 2-drop, and it's a one-of, because you never really want to have to try to cast it twice. And it basically makes, if you're casting it, let's say, with 4 sources out, 4 threshold, 4 sources, you get 2 3/3s. But they'll get inspired by everything in the deck. If you do it for 6, you get 3 3/3s that get inspired by everything in the deck. It's pretty sweet. It's basically the nail in the coffin sometimes. Other cards that we didn't get to yet are the 3-drops. Protector Clergymen are basically a beefier version of the Ruby. These stack, so I want to have 4 of them. 2 Lord Alexanders, theirs does not stack, and I won't swing with him normally, so I don't expect him to try to get, like, he's going to hopefully stay alive longer than most. The 3 Spear Cliff Cloud Knights, only 3 because the double threshold kind of scares me. And we're kind of heavy on 3-drops, so we're staying with 3 for now. The 4th would probably be in the board. Moving up to the 4 and 5 drops. I think it's just 5 drops. We have 2 Legionnaires, which are sweet. Clear out the board. Do some extra damage. And then we have 1 Royal Falconer. He's kind of a surprise factor. They'll kill him first chance they get after the surprise factor. So, you know, we do what we can with them immediately. But I don't expect this to be something that lives for more than 2 turns. So if we get 2 shots out of it, I'm happy. I'm not going to expect a game to go that long, though. The only other thing in the deck are the Stone Skins. That's the only form of protection we have, removal. It's not really removal, it's nothing. I mean, it's not a troop, and it's not removal. It's protecting our troops from removal. Everything else in the deck is a troop. It's very synergistic. We're going to give it a shot. And, oh, we wanted to try to fit 1 more shard in here. Let's see. I really don't think I have any more cuts to make here. The only other cut I would consider making is a Protectorate. But what I think I'm going to do is go up to 61. This is something you'll see me do sometimes where if I'm on the border of 60 cards and I need one more source, I'll put it in. 61 statistically isn't that much further away from 60 if you're talking about the same density of a card in your deck, like sources. But it lets me get that one extra draw in, that one extra out. So I'm going to try it out. We'll see what happens. Let's see, what do we want? Do we want another diamond or another ruby? A consideration could be going down to 3 shards of fate. Let's try 3 shards of fate and going up to, because I really don't like missing a source drop for the turn. So I'm going to go up to... Diamond is definitely more important. But we also don't want to neglect our ruby. So I'm going to put one more of each in. Oops. One more of each. So this brings us up to 10, 21, 2, 3. Okay. We're going to give it a shot. I'll see you back in a little bit for round number 1.